Hi everyone, this is a quick video about Jupiter making transit to Taurus from 1st of May 2024 to 14th of May 2025. This is definitely one of the big transits of 2024 and this will be lucky for certain zodiacs. So let's start with Aries. So hi Aries. So Jupiter would be transiting to your second house, which means the major focus of this transit would be savings. So the planetary positions till now were making it a little difficult for the Aries rising to save money. However, with this Jupiter transit, you'll be finding it easier and quicker to save more money. There will also be certain changes in your diet that you might inculcate. So you might be more or inclined towards having organic food or sattvic food or anything that is naturally grown, right? Another thing that I've also observed with this Jupiter is that you might also be inclined to solve problems of health issues that you might have overlooked in the past, or maybe you were dealing with a long-term disease and you were neglecting it, and now Jupiter would be making you put efforts into that. So your health would again start to look better with this Jupiter transit. Coming back to the income and expenditure aspect, initially it might be a bit of a tussle. Maybe you're trying to save money, but then the expenditures are also exorbitant, so there might be a tussle initially, but by the end of the year you'll be able to overcome that. But please do keep in mind that these are general predictions. To get very accurate predictions you need personal charts. Now, another aspect of this would be that it wouldn't be a very wise decision to take debts during this time, so please avoid doing that. And since Jupiter would also be looking into your 8th house, so you can expect some sudden positive shifts. So let's say you were awaiting a career promotion, or you were awaiting some good news in your career, or you were seeking some help from your bosses or your authorities. So those can happen. Some positive shifts can happen with this Jupiter transit. And if let's say you were dealing with some toxic work environment, you can expect some positive changes in those areas. But majorly, the main focus of this transit would be your health and your career. So along with blessing you in the areas of health and career, Jupiter might also strike your interests in hidden knowledge or occult knowledge, and the balance between your income and expenditure should be done with by the end of this transit. Now, if you're married, another aspect of this can also be shown on you having joint assets with your spouse. So Jupiter would also be blessing you in that area as well. So that was for Aries ascendants. Let me know if this resonated with you. And let's talk about Taurus ascendant. So hi Taurus. So for you Taurus, the major focus of this transit would be transforming yourself, getting more spiritual or gaining more knowledge, gaining more wisdom. You might be called to take a major decision during this time period. So you might be leaving something behind and entering something new. So there is a chance of you learning a new skill or entering into a new field of education for students, or this can also be in the terms of you working for something that was very burdensome for you and now you're leaving that behind and starting something fresh. However, Taurus, you need to put more efforts into your work situation, and so you may be getting more recognition, rewards, and meeting more people or new people or diverse group of people is also something you can expect with this transit. So there is a possibility that you might be focusing on mending bonds or reconciling with someone from the past. This time period will be panning out good for students. If let's say there's any student watching this video or any person who wants to pursue higher education, so this is a good time period for Taurus ascendant regarding that aspect. And there is also a possibility that you might be pursuing a passion. Maybe you wanted to pursue a certain passion years ago, and now Jupiter with this transit is blessing you. This whole transit of Jupiter being in Taurus is happening in your first house. So this is a very transformative year for Taurus risings. So you can be entering into a new phase of your life. But please do remember that these are all general predictions and these are done for the collectives. Accurate predictions are made only when we are looking at personal charts. But overall Taurus, this is a good time period for you, since Jupiter would be giving you the wisdom that you require. So if you were confused about your path, or if you were seeking clarity on which direction to go, Jupiter would be blessing you with that clarity during this time period. And as I said, there is a chance of you starting something new. Maybe you were doing hard work for the past years and now it's the time for you to reap rewards. So that can happen. However, There is this possibility that the work life can be a little burdensome for you. So try to take it easy, Taurus. Also, with this period, you'll be making diverse connections. So make sure that you're using this Jupiter transit to your benefit and making connections that will do you good in the long run. Sudden interest in spirituality can also be something you can expect during this transit. Now let's talk about Geminis. Hi, Geminis. So for Gemini rising, Jupiter would be transiting your 12th house. So the years previously for Gemini had not been very smooth, had been full of challenges, and this is the time period where Geminis can expect some stability in their lives. However, Geminis, be careful of the expenditure during this time period. You might be wanting to purchase more things for your home or any aesthetic looking things, so just be careful and spend more wisely. There is this possibility of Geminis to move away from their homeland, or they can be changing home or changing their residence. Long distance travel for education is also a possibility for Gemini. You can expect some positive news when it comes to your home and your family. So if you were in a situation where you were dealing with toxic family environment, there is a possibility that you might be changing your residence, or maybe you're now shifting to a place that gives you more peace. And since Jupiter would also be aspecting your 6th house, you can expect your health to get better. Sudden interests in occult or hidden knowledge or spirituality or mysticism can also be on the cards for you, Gemini. One of the major areas of focus during this time would be your balance between home life and work life. So there is a chance of you wanting to give more attention to your work, but then your home life calls you, or when you are trying to give more attention to your home, your work calls you. So there is this balance that you need to strike between the two. Or it can be in the forms of traveling back and forth from your home place to your workplace, or your workplace to your home place. Maybe you live at a distant land, or you are traveling to a distant land, and coming back and forth is something which may be on the cards for you. Now, since travel is something which is major part of this transit for Gemini ascendants, it can be a travel for higher education for students, or it can be a travel back home after higher education for students. It can be either of the two. You may also be inclined to take certain spiritual or religious trips during this time. So overall, it's a good period, Gemini. However, just be careful of the expenditure. Make sure you make a monthly budget and focus on your health and making a healthy lifestyle. Now let's move on to Cancer risings. Hi, Cancerians. So Jupiter would be transiting to your 11th house in Taurus. This majorly would be about you making influential networks. You might be inclined or interested in social service during this time period as well. This transit is majorly about you putting yourself out there, and this is a good time period for getting recognition, rewards, or even appreciation from bosses or seniors. You can be in the guiding light as well, so you can train some people or you can guide some people during this time period, and you might also be wanting to pursue some education during this time. If you are willing to do so, this is a good time period for the same. Another focus of this transit would be on mending bonds. So if you had problems or tiffs or arguments or bickerings in your love life or in your friend circle or in partnerships, you can expect those to get resolved. You might have to put in efforts for it, but once you put in efforts, things will work out in your favor. Now, Cancerians, people might also be coming towards you for seeking guidance. Be careful of what you speak in public, because this is a time period where your public image would be of focus. So be careful of what you are putting forward or how you're presenting yourself in front of the world. However, Cancerians, your career might also need your focus, so do not neglect your career. Along with this, your education might also require your attention. So this can be a crucial year for you when it comes to your education as well. You might be pursuing certain subjects that could require more of your time or more of your attention during this time. So be generous with the time or attention. You can expect certain travels or constant travels during this transit or majorly by the end of this transit. Now again, please do remember, Cancerians, that these are general predictions, so take what resonates and So overall, this is a good time period for you, Cancerians. Recognition or guidance or having influential contacts is something that you can expect during this time period, and that's majorly for you. If you have any other questions, you can drop that in the comment box. So that was all for you, Cancerians. Now let's move on to the next zodiac. Hi, Leos. So for you, Jupiter would be transiting to your 10th house. The major focus of this transit would be stability and putting efforts in career or in workspace. You can expect benefits from gurus or authoritative figures or your bosses. There is a possibility of you getting a position in your career or getting certain business contracts in your career is also a possibility. With the aspects of Jupiter, you'll be able to save better, and your debts might also get paid off during this time period. However, be careful of not getting into debts. So if you're planning to take on any debts or blindly go for taking any debts, do not do that. This time period would be a good one for peace and stability in home, or if you had any unfinished projects in your home space or your family matters, you can expect them to come to an end or come to a conclusion during this time. However, be careful, Leos, that do not take risks during this time period, as this time period would not be very predictable for you. So even though there is stability that you can expect in your career, but any major risks should not be taken during this time period, as sudden changes can happen. Along with this, another major focus for you, Leos, would be mending certain bonds. There is a possibility that you might meet some potential partners during this time period, or you might want to look for marriage or marriage partners. If you're planning to getting into a business contract or long-term business contract, be careful before signing those documents. Make sure you double check them or you read them twice. The best solution for you, Leos, is that being diplomatic here is the key. So if you feel that there are people who are wanting to mend you according to their ways, do not be blunt about it. Be diplomatic and things will work out eventually fine for you. But overall, Leo, this is a good time period for you when it comes to your career. You can expect a raise or a promotion or appreciation from bosses, or maybe any appreciative or helpful bosses or gurus or guides can be there for you. There is also a possibility, Leo, that you might want to change your diet to make your lifestyle or daily life better or healthy. So during this time, you might want to hit the gym or join yoga classes or make a better diet plan. So let's now move on to Virgo risings. Hi, Virgos. For you, Virgos, this transit would help you seek direction in your path. If you had been struggling with indecision or confusion, this transit would help you seek clarity. However, there might be tendencies of you being isolated or you getting detached, or there would be a feeling of you not wanting to talk a lot to other people. So, being introspective, or so majorly this time would be about you spending time with yourself and getting to know yourself better. You might be leaning towards meditation or spirituality during this time period as well. However, Virgos, there need to be a balance between the time that you give to yourself versus the time that you give to other people, because there might be situations wherein you might have to give time to other people, or other people might be drawn towards you. It might be your aura, or it might be just your presence that might attract them towards you. So be careful of who you let into your life during this time. Jupiter during this time period would be blessing you with an intuition. So there might be a gut feeling that you'll get about certain people. So trust that gut feeling, because that gut feeling is actually a blessing of Jupiter given to you. Certain love confessions can also come your way during this time, but be careful, Virgos, that do not rush into it and do not follow or trust someone blindly. For people trying to pursue higher education, this is a good period for them. Going on pilgrimage trips or long distance travel is also a possibility. However, Virgos, you'll be putting certain efforts in your health and your daily lifestyle. So you might be having a very busy lifestyle during this time, or any lifestyle that requires a lot of your time can be a possibility. So make sure that you're giving time to yourself and giving yourself rest. Your daily lifestyle can be very busy and very hectic, so be careful and just ensure that you are giving time to yourself and taking proper care and resting enough. Do not neglect your health during this time period, Virgo. Even though your lifestyle might get busy and you might have to put yourself out there, but be careful that you take proper rest and do not overburden yourself. Also, take care of what you speak in public during this time period, Virgos. Do not engage in rumors. Let's move on to Libras. So Jupiter would be transiting to your 8th house, Libra. So this is going to be a transformative year for you. There might be some unexpected positive shifts in your life. Increased interest in meditation, spirituality can be there for you. There's a possibility that you might start a side hustle. So if you're a student, or even if, let's say, you are a working professional, you might start another business or another side hustle which might give you additional financial benefits. However, during this transit, Libra, you might be focusing more on those things that you had long overlooked or neglected. You might also have to focus on your health, because this is a time period wherein your daily life or daily schedule would be busy. So make sure that you're making proper sleep schedule, and especially take care of your health during this time, Libra. You may be leaning towards working on your health during this time. You might land up into situations when there is competition around you, or you might take part in competition during this period, Libra. If you're planning to learn a new skill during this time period, Libra, or pursue certain passions, it might initially be challenging for you. However, in the long run, or even majorly, two aspects that you need to focus on would be your education and your health. You might greatly be inclined towards having joint assets during this time period, or sorting out certain marriage related issues during this time if you are married. If you are inclined towards learning occult or mysticism or spirituality, it will come to you easily during this time, Libra. So overall, it's a good time period for you, Libra. You can expect certain positive changes in your life. Just make sure that you have a good working routine and work life. Do not take a lot of burdens, Libra, and make sure that you're working out and having a good diet simultaneously, because this is going to be a busy time period. There might also be a possibility that you might be willing to take risks, or you might be inclined or interested towards taking some risks or doing certain things that you've never tried before, or certain things that you wanted to try but you could not do. So this time period, you might want to risk it, or you might want to try it. So take balanced amount of risk, Libra. If you're planning to start a new business during this time, do not take unnecessary debts. It's not recommended, Libra. Now let's come to Scorpio risings. For Scorpios, Jupiter would be transiting to your 7th house. So during this time, Jupiter might want you to learn to look at things from other person's perspective, or appreciating other person's lens or point of view. This is a period for you to make new connections. So there is a possibility that you might be leaving certain people behind. Along with this, there is also a possibility of you connecting with an old partner. If things between you and your spouse had not been great for the past years, Jupiter would make you learn to mend things during this time. So it is a possibility for you might come across people who are intelligent or very knowledgeable. However, be careful to not trust narcissist people during this time, Scorpios. You might actually become a little picky when it comes to selecting a partner, or even when it comes to making new friends. You might be a little particular during this time period. You might also pursue or work on a new passion or hobby. However, home life or your residence would require your attention and focus during this time period. If you're thinking of learning a new subject or new age technology, this is the right time for you, Scorpios. However, make sure, Scorpios, that you're also making time for yourself, because this time period will require you to give attention to other people in general. So it'll be better that you also take out time for yourself. Your image in the eyes of public during this time period would be good, Scorpios. So overall, this is a good transit for you. Just make sure that you're also making. You might also be called to guiding some people during this time. So it can be some juniors or your siblings. They might come to you for seeking guidance. So you can be like a guide or guru figure to these people. There might also be certain increase in the rules and regulations in your home environment, and it can also be in your career. So just be careful that you're following all of these and you're not breaking any rules there, Scorp. Also, the good part of this transit is that you might cross paths with people during this time who will help you in some or the other way when it comes to your career or certain passion that you want. There might also be an addition in your family, or you might search for a potential partner for marriage during this time as well, Scorpio. However, just remember that these are general predictions and take what resonates. Let's come to Sagittarius risings now. Hi Sagittarius. Jupiter would be transiting your 6th house in the sign of Taurus during this 1 year period. Now, this is a year wherein you have to put efforts, Sagittarius. By the end of this transit, efforts would pay off. However, this effort or the area where you have to put efforts would be different for different individuals. For majorly, these efforts would be in terms of health or daily lifestyle. This is a good period for people who are running business or who have started a business. For certain people, there might be a change in the treatment line. If there is any treatment that is already going on, you might want to change your doctor. You might want to consult another doctor during this time period. There is also a chance of resettling in life. So you might leave a job behind or start something new when it comes to your career. There needs to be a balance between your home life and your work life during this time period. You might be inclined towards working from home during this time. However, Jupiter would be giving you the right direction that you seek when it comes to your treatment of health or in your career. Along with this, if you had been struggling with saving money or finances, Jupiter would be blessing you in. But if you are planning to start something new during this time period, just make sure that you put in the required amount of efforts. Do not rely on luck. Also, since health would be of major focus during this 1 year transit, make sure that you're not eating anything that is excessively unhealthy. Try avoiding eating excessive sweets or excessive. If there are any students watching this video or any interns watching this video, this might be a period wherein you might be called to put in efforts or have a busy lifestyle. However, by the end of this transit, you will reap rewards. Also, be very careful before taking any unnecessary risk or any unnecessary debts during this time period, Sagittarius. If you want to get rid of any ill effects of Jupiter being in the 6th house during this period, try feeding the unprivileged or animals during this time period. Females during this time period need to keep a check on their menstrual cycles, and for males, keep a check on prostate and body parts below the abdominal region. So just stay focused on maintaining a good diet and putting efforts into your health, Sagittarius. Now let's move on to Capricorn risings. And Jupiter would be transiting to your 5th house in the sign of Taurus. This will be a good time period for you, Capricorn. The major focus of this transit would be, or long distance education is also something that you can look out for. If you were planning to take on any path of education, things will work out in your favor during. Since Jupiter would be aspecting your ascendant, you will be getting wiser during this time. There will be certain answers that you just know. Basically, this is recognition, rewards, and higher income can be expected during this time period. You might also get in touch with people who will help you achieve goals in your career. Getting in touch or networking with people who will help you in the long run is also a possibility for you, Capricorn. During this time period, you will also be called towards going to some. You might also find a guru during this time period who will guide you in your journey or your path ahead. This is a time period where Guru is giving you rewards of your past deeds. So use it to your benefit, Capricorn. However, though there is stability and income that will come to you, there might be some obstacles in you trying to save money. So you might want to manage your expenses and your income during this time period. You might also be inclined towards investing during this time period, Capricorn. There is also constant travel for you, Capricorn. Short distance travel, back and forth travel is something that you can expect during this time period. If you are into sales or marketing, if you put in efforts, you will reap your rewards sooner than you expect. This is a time period which will help you get powerful connections, Capricorn. So make sure you will also be getting more spiritual during this time period and trusting your gut and intuition more than logic. However, just make sure that you think before taking any decisions, since Ketu is also looking at your ascendant during this time period. However, since Jupiter is also there, it will be giving you the right wisdom to get you the answers and solutions that you seek. Any new passion or any new field of education that you want to pursue, this will be a good time to do the same. So that was all about your Capricorns. Now let's move on to our next zodiac, that is Aquarius. Hi Aquarius rising. For you, Jupiter would be transiting to your 4th house in the sign of Taurus. This transit of Jupiter would make you focus on yourself and work on yourself. There are certain responsibilities that you might be called towards taking when it comes to your home environment or home life. You can be taking certain responsibilities, family members in general. You would be working towards yourself. It can be in terms of your appearance, it can be in terms of your skill set. There is a sense of you rectifying some past mistakes. Certain things that you did in the past might be needing rectification. If you had been facing struggles or problems or obstacles in your career, expect things to move much smoother during this time, since Jupiter would be aspecting your 10th house. It will be removing obstacles or getting you help from certain people who can help you achieve your goals. You might also need to give time towards your home during this time. There is a possibility of you shifting places or residing in a new place. There might also be a chance of you working towards marriage or seeking a potential partner. If you're already married, you might be called towards putting efforts into your marriage. Take care of your partner's health during this time period, Aquarius. You might also be facing some changes in your home environment. So if let's say you were living in a PG, you might be moving back to your home. You might be inclined towards buying assets during this time period or investing money or saving money during this time. Your spouse's family might also require your attention during this time period. You might develop interest in occult science, mysticism or spirituality during this time period, Aquarius. So this transit would majorly be you working on yourself and giving time to home, as in responsibilities of home. You might be entrusted with certain responsibilities of your parents or your home environment. So you might also be wanting to try exotic foods during this time period. However, be a little careful before consuming those, since Rahu would be there in your 2nd house during. If you was or you could not get a hold of your expenses during this time period, Aquarius, Jupiter would be helping you in that area as well. So that was majorly about you, Aquarius. Now let's move on. Jupiter would be transiting to your 3rd house in the sign of Taurus. This period for you would be majorly about guiding, teaching and speaking. There might be a possibility that you may get an. If you are inclined towards taking higher education during this time period, this is a good time for you. You might be inclined towards spreading your knowledge or assisting others. You might be very ambitious during this time period, and this is a good time for you when it comes to your career. However, be careful that your spouse's health could be of importance during this time period. Make sure that you're paying attention to your spouse's health during this time. This is a time period where you will be prioritizing yourself. You might be starting something new in your career. However, if there was any problem in your marriage or there were problems in your partnership, you might be called to mend those. There is a chance of you. If your partner's health has been down, Jupiter's aspect would be there on your 7th house, making your partner's health better. Make sure you are not delusional during this time period, Pisces. You might be getting innovative ideas, and innovative relationships during this time period would be getting better than what you have previously been facing. If there have been problems with your spouse or your network circles, you may expect things to mend or bonds getting better. Public speaking might be something that you might like during this time period and may be called towards during this time. Majorly for water signs, this time is about making and building new connections that will help you seek or achieve your goals. This is a time period wherein a student-teacher dynamic is going on. So at times you might find yourself playing the role of a teacher, guiding and assisting others, and at times you might be Overall, this is a good time period for you, Pisces. Just make sure you do not get caught up in your thoughts and try being true to yourself. So this was a general prediction of Jupiter's transit in Taurus 2024 to 2025. If you have any other questions, please drop that in the comment box. I'll see you in my next one.